class children. So I am your social teacher and my name is Mrs. Jyoti. So we are in lesson number 5, that is our beautiful country India. So a little portion of the lesson we have completed. So India is of different landforms and we have learned about mountains, plains and plateaus. Now today we are going to learn about the remaining 3 parts. So keep your tongue ready, then pencil ready and open page number 314. Okay, so in page 314 we are going to learn about the deserts, coastal plains and islands, and then we will do the objective part also. So let me give you the recap of the previous lesson. So mountains. So the India map. So mountains are towards the northern side and we can see northern plains also here. Then this particular part is the plateau and we also call it as Deccan Plateau. So southern part is the plateau. So what is the plateau? It is a flat land which is little higher than the remaining land. And you can see plains over here. Okay, these are the plains. So plains are nothing but it is also a flat land. And towards here, the coastal areas, you can see the northern mountains. And among all the mountains, the highest is the Mount Everest, which is located here. So this is China and here Nepal. So you can see. So the place where China and Nepal meet is called as its border. So the Mount Everest is located in the Nepal and China border. So towards the mountains there are so many rivers which originate and they originate from the snowfall of the mountains. And towards the southern side also there are some rivers which originate and they depend on the rainfall. Then if you see, most of the people they live in this particular place. Why do they live in this particular place? Because this particular place has so many rivers flowing in it and the soil is very fertile. Fertile in the sense it is very rich in minerals and you can grow many crops over there. So it is flat and it is very fertile. That's why most of the people they live in this area. When you see the plateau over here, this is not so fertile. You cannot grow all kind of crops because there is less amount of water over here. But here towards the southern side, we have lot of minerals. You can see lot of minerals. So what are minerals? Whatever the things are available from inside the ground. Okay, we dig the ground and we are going to take coal, we are going to take petroleum, mica. Then you are going to take water and all. So all these things comes under the minerals and diamonds and all, gold and all. So all these things, petrol, it's available from inside the ground. Okay, so those are nothing but we call it as minerals. So this is about the one which we have learned in the previous session. Now let us move on to the deserts. The next topic is deserts. So deserts are large, dry and arid areas of land. So what is the meaning of arid? That is lacking of moisture. So whenever you see in this winter season, our skin becomes dry. It becomes white and pale because there is no moisture. That's why it becomes white and pale. And if you see the soil over the desert region also. So deserts are present in this particular place. Okay. So here if you see there are no plants at all and you can see very less rainfall over there and the sand is very dry. It is very loose and over there you cannot see any kind of moisture. These areas receive very little rainfall throughout the year. So we receive like heavy rainfall during the rainy season. But whereas the desert areas they do not receive rainfall and if they receive the rainfall also it's very less. Deserts are completely covered with sand. So here you can see in these pictures, in this picture study you can see very clearly, it's completely filled with loose soil. The vegetation is scanty due to shortage of water. So there we can grow very less plants. Generally there are no plants available. So we can only less plants you can see over there because there is no water facility. The Thar desert is towards the northwestern part of India, and it is a very hot desert as the climate is very hot over there. So water is not available, and if you see this particular part, the days are very hot and the nights will be very cool. And this is the northern side, this is the western side. So this particular part we call it as northwest. So you can see the Thar desert in this particular area, and it is also called as the Great Indian Desert. So this is the largest desert and the hottest desert, and that's why this Thar desert we call it as the Great Indian Desert. Here the days are very warm and the nights are very cold. So here if you see, as I told you, the days are very hot and warm and the nights will be very cool. Rajasthan is a state which lies in this region. So we already discussed that India has 29 states. So in which region does this Thar desert lie? So here we have Rajasthan. So in that Rajasthan, Thar desert is present. So this is about the deserts. Then coastal plains. The coast of eastern and western India are bordered by low flat lands. These flat lands are known as the coastal plains. The coastal plains in the east are known as the east coastal plain, and the one which is located towards the west is called as the western coastal plain. So these long and beautiful coastal lines attract many tourists. Many rivers such as Godavari, Narmada, Tapi, Mahanadi, Krishna and Kaveri flow through these plains, and there is a moderate climate. So this is the western side and this is the eastern side. So the part which is towards the ending. Okay. So this is the place where ocean and land are going to meet. So that particular place we call it as a coastal line. We call it as a coastal line. And the place over here is very flat and it is low. So if it is low and flat, we call it as plains. We call it as plains. So it is the coastal plain. And this particular part we call it as western coastal plain, and this is towards the east side. So we call it as the eastern coastal plain. So the part which is towards the western side we call western coastal plain, and the part which is there towards the eastern side we call it as the eastern coastal plain. So everybody loves to visit the beach. Yes, the beach is nothing but the coastal line. As it is very long over here, it's very attractive and there are so many tourists who come and visit these places. And there are many rivers which originate here and they flow like Krishna, Narmada, Tapi, and all these rivers they flow and they again mix with the oceans over here. And the climate over here, it is very moderate. The climate is very moderate in the coastal plains. The coastal plain, the climate is moderate. It's very moderate. Then moving on to the next topic, that is islands. Moving on to next topic, that is islands. So islands. An island is a piece of land surrounded by water on all the sides. So here I have given you an example of Sri Lanka, and it is completely covered with water on all the sides. So such a type of land we call it as a island. When numerous such islands are found in same place forming a group, they are referred to as island groups. So India has two group of islands The group of islands that lie towards the eastern side are in the Bay of Bengal is called as Andaman and Nicobar Islands. So towards the eastern side we have very small islands like this. So a group of islands are called as island groups. So towards the eastern side, that is Bay of Bengal. So here we have Bay of Bengal. So towards the eastern side we have Bay of Bengal, and these islands we call it as Andaman and Nicobar Islands. There is a name for that islands, and it is Andaman and Nicobar Islands. In the same way, we have another one, and these islands are covered with dense forest, and the other island group that lies on the western side in the Arabian Sea is called as Lakshadweep Islands. So towards the western side, this is Arabian Sea. Arabian Sea. So here also we have small islands, and we call them as Lakshadweep Islands. We call them as Lakshadweep Islands. So here if you see towards the eastern side we have small islands. A group of islands we call Andaman and Nicobar Islands. And towards the western side also we have island groups, and we call it as the Lakshadweep Islands. And the sea over here is Bay of Bengal, and here you can see the Arabian Sea. So this is about the lesson. We have discussed about all the 6 different types of land. Okay. So let me show you. So here are the Lakshadweep Islands, and here you can see Bay of Bengal and Andaman and Nicobar Islands here. Towards this side, pink colored one. Yes. So here are the Lakshadweep Islands. So this complete part is covered with water, and this part is covered with land. And here, this small part, if you see the pink colored part here, it's completely surrounded with water, and it is in groups. Okay. So all that small pieces of land together we call it as island groups. And those island groups towards the Bay of Bengal we call it as Andaman and Nicobar Islands, and towards the west side, that is the Arabian Sea, we call it as Lakshadweep Islands. So Lakshadweep Islands are very small, and here towards the bottom here are the Maldives. Here you can see the Maldives, and this is the coastal line. Okay, it is in the form of V, isn't it? So this is the coastal line, the coastal plain. So most of the people visit here for recreation. So this is about the lesson. So next you have the checkpoints. So look at the checkpoints, everyone. Take a pencil. So I will be telling the answers, you please note it down, and I am going to send you the answers also. Just I am going to explain, and I will send the answers so you can see and write, or you can read the lesson and you can write it by your own. Checkpoints I am going to write on the board, and remaining objective which is there behind the lesson, that I am going to send you the notes. Okay. So checkpoints state whether the following statement is true or false. The first one. India is situated in the continent of Asia. Yes, it is true. So write down T. Then second one. The northern part of India is surrounded by water. The northern part of India is surrounded by water. So northern part is the top part. It is surrounded by land but not by water. So the given statement is false. Then, the Himalayan mountain range is the highest mountain range in India. Yes, it is true. Then, fourth one. Mountains are densely populated. False. The plains over there are densely populated because there is a lot of water and it is a plain. They can grow some crops and all. But on mountains they cannot grow crops, so it is very less populated and there is lot of snowfall over there. Then deserts are covered with sand. Yes, deserts are covered with sand, and it is true. Islands have moderate climate. So islands are the one which have the moderate climate. Yes, it is true. Yes, so moving on to the next one. So here you have now down the new words. Beach, originate, fertile, densely, arid, scanty and moderate climate. So these are the meanings. And after this you have exercise bits. So this exercise bits I am going to explain, and the notes will be sent to you, so you can note it down later. A piece of land surrounded by water on three sides, and it is known as. So if a piece of land is surrounded by water on three sides, it is known as peninsula. This is the highest mountain range in the world, and it is Himalayas. These plains lie in the south of the Himalayas. So which plains are going to lie in the south plains of Himalayas? So these plains lie in the south of the Himalayas. It is the Great Indian Plain. The southern plateau is also known as the Deccan Plateau, as it is in the triangular shape. Then the B bit, give correct answers. So these are like one word answers. The area of flat and level land, it is the plain. And the highest mountain range in the world, the Great Indian Mountain Range. A flat, that is which is higher than its surrounding area, is the plateau. A large dry and arid land, it is the desert. And last one is a group of islands that lie on to the eastern side. So group of islands towards the eastern side, that is near the Bay of Bengal, it is Andaman and Nicobar Islands. Then fill in the blanks. The southern part of India is a peninsula. The Great Plains of India lie to the south of the Great Plains of India, they lie to the south side of India. Then the plateau region is rich in, the plateau towards the southern side, it is rich in the minerals, but it is very poor for irrigation and all. Deserts are covered with, so what are deserts covered with? They are covered with sand or soil. Dash island are covered with dense forest. So the islands which are towards the Bay of Bengal, they are covered with dense forest. They are Andaman and Nicobar Islands. So next you have question and answers. That is, the southern part of India is a peninsula. Why? Because it's covered with three sides of water and one side with land. So what do you know about the climate of mountains? It's very cool over there. Why are the northern plains densely populated? Because it is plains, so they can and there is lot of river over there, plenty of water, so that they can irrigate the crops. How is a plateau different from a plain? So both are flat surfaces, but plain is little low and plateau is the higher surface. Why is the vegetation scanty in desert? So why there are very less number of trees in desert? Because it is dry and there is no rainfall and no water. That's why it is dry and there is no proper vegetation. Then, what is an island? Name the groups of islands in India. So, a piece of land covered by all the sides of water is called an island. And mainly we have two groups of islands. One is Andaman and Nicobar Islands and another one is Lakshadweep Islands. Andaman and Nicobar Islands are present towards the Bay of Bengal, that is the eastern side, and Lakshadweep are towards the Arabian Sea and the western side. So about these things we have learned, and all the notes I am going to send you. So your homework is complete lesson 5 objective in textbook and read the lesson. So this is the homework which you have to do. You should complete lesson 5 objective in the textbook as well as you should read the complete lesson. Okay, I am going to send you the notes of the objective, question answers, new words, keywords, everything I am going to send you. Please write it without any mistake. You have done very well for the first, second, third lesson, and fourth lesson and fifth lesson also you have to do it in the same way. Hope you all have understood this lesson. Please go through the videos again if you don't understand anything. We'll meet in the next session. Thank you.